family. I am super, super excited for today. I think it's been like 5 weeks that we're meeting on Thursday evening with the part-time agents, and I'm really, really enjoying getting to know you guys. Really enjoying spending, I look forward to the 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. on Thursday evenings. A lot of you guys have full-time work. You join us part-time, and you have a dream. We've been talking about this for a few weeks. You have a dream, and you are here because you either try to come full-time, you're trying to make some extra money for your family, but you are here at 8 p.m. on a Thursday evening for a reason, right? And I was just thinking about, I was going to back and forth with JK too earlier today about a topic for the call. And I kind of was just thinking about it, like many of you in here never met our leader, John Kai. Many of you are not on our call in the morning on Thursday morning because you have a job. And I was just thinking here, like, what my relationship with John and Kim Kai had done to my life and my children's life for the last 17 years, right? And I'm just like, I just can't believe it. Why I never thought about inviting John here, and say hello for you guys. And I'm just super excited because John and Kim Kai, they have been my leaders for 17 years. When I met John, I was just a girl from Brazil with a big dream. Um, and I was just tired of working the 9 to 5. I had a dream and was being my own boss. And I was trying to figure out what am I going to do? And just by my relationship with John and Kim and John mentoring me, it totally changed my life. And I'm just so excited because some of you never met John. I sent him a text message to say, hey, can you just come in and talk to us tonight? And he say, absolutely. So if this is your first time listening to John, I am just so excited for you. If it's not, I'm excited for you too. But John, it is such a pleasure for having you. Um, you know, my relationship with you and Kim is one of the most important relationship that I have in my life. You had affected me personally, you had affected me professionally. You know my children, I know your children. We are more than co-workers. It's more than just a mentor and relationship. And I'm just so excited, John, because I can go back to 2007 and think about who I was and this journey of 17 years. And I can go on for days, but I can tell you this, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Kim. And I'm just so excited for the people that are coming in and getting to know you for the first time, and just praying and believing that their life can transform by building a relationship with you, by getting to know you and Kim and being part of the Cornerstone family. So welcome to our Thursday night call. You're going to take it from here because I do not need to speak. I'm going to be taking notes. I'm going to be listening to you, and I'm just excited for having you here tonight.
Thank you so much, Claudia. And I am so excited to be on. Just so fired up about what's going on inside of Cornerstone right now. As a matter of fact, I went on an instant purchase some Ethos leads right before dinner. Kim was ready to go. I looked in some of my counties that I love working, and I saw a couple of I saw like 8 of the Ethos leads available, and so I quickly bought them. And I just started making phone calls and just had a couple of really good conversations. And I'm stoked and excited. So I'm excited to be on this call, excited to meet all of you. I'm going to talk just from a macro standpoint. I'm not really going to dive in and do any teaching, but I'm just going to talk about this industry. I want you to make sure that you know exactly what you're involved in. I think a lot of times people get a life insurance license and they really don't know what they're involved in. They feel like they get a life insurance license and then it's like, hey, what do I do? And it's so hard to book an appointment. And when you're 211 in life and you're just not excited about anything, and you're mayor of Suckville and the circumstances in your life suck, right? It's hard to get excited. And if you're not excited, it's hard to make anything good happen in your life. And I see it all the time. I see people get in this industry and they think the industry is going to change their life. And I tell them it's not. Wherever you go, there you are. And you can bring your old sorry attitudes from life into this business. And guess what? This business is going to suck just like everything else you've ever done. So I'm going to talk about from a macro. I just want you to know what you're involved in. I think it's the greatest industry in the world. But before I even get to the insurance part, I need to establish a trust base with you. Okay. And so if you don't understand this or you don't think it's truth, then we really have no basis to go any further. Like, why would you want me to talk about the insurance industry if we can't get this part right? Okay, so here's the part. The part is it doesn't matter if you're talking about insurance. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what industry you're talking about. You've got to deal with one thing. The one thing in life, and I'm sorry, it didn't happen to me either, but in third grade, every single one of us, we should have been lined up in our third grade class, and we should have had some teacher come to us and say, hey, we're going to teach you about results in life. And what you're going to be able to decide is what result do you want out of life? Okay. Do you want to be broke? Do you want good relationships or bad relationships? Do you want good health or bad? We're going to teach you about results. You know, I'll tell you this, Claudia, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. Like, I love getting on there and reading some of the industry stuff. But it's like all the other crap that I got to see while I'm on there, right? And everybody's got their magic potion for something. You know, if you want to lose weight, let me tell you how to do it without discipline. If you want to make millions of dollars, let me tell you how to do it without discipline. If you want good relationships, let me tell you how to do it without discipline. Let me tell you something. It's all a bunch of crap because you can't do it without discipline. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that you've got to have in your life if you ever want to create the life of your dreams. If you ever want to become the type of person that God created you to become. And I'm sorry to even have to say that. I know there's probably some people out there that, I don't know, maybe you think you came from an amoeba or something. Maybe you think you swinging from trees as a monkey and your tail popped off something and you've been standing up, walking, talking ever since you felt it. I don't know where you think you came from, but I know you were created, okay? And so you were created with a purpose. You were created with a purpose. And I think so much of our life's pursuit is finding that purpose. And when we find that purpose, man, so much of life just tends to fall into place and make sense. So in third grade, we should have all been taught how to create results. Instead, most of you guys are like me. What you were taught was how to go to school, get a good education, and go get a good job and go be broke and busted and disgusted for the rest of your life. That's what we were taught. We were taught how to go conform and work for somebody else's dream. I missed the part about actually having my own dream. I missed the part. Every time I started talking about dreams in my family, I'd hear people say, well, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. You ever have relatives like that? That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Well, it's more than nice. It's doable. And you can do it. Okay, so results. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about relationships. I'm not going to talk about your health. I'm going to talk about business results. What result do you want in business? I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 8 or 80. You got to decide. You got a chance right now to decide what type of result do you want the rest of your life. Okay, you're gonna be mature enough to make a decision tonight on whatever result you want. Now, some of you may get off this call and go, I ain't never getting on one of them calls ever again. And man, he was talking, I don't even know what, whatever. Okay, but I'm just telling you, 90 days after I speak tonight, you ain't got no more excuses. Okay, because if somebody didn't tell you, I can apologize, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what to do to change your life tonight. If you have ears, if you're ready to hear it. Okay. So results in business. What result do you want? Do you want to be broke or do you want to not be broke? Okay. So there's only 2 types of income. See, the challenge we do growing up, we think that success has to do with the amount of money we make. And that's not true. There are a lot of people in the United States of America that make a lot of money, and they wake up every day, and I don't want their life. I don't want it at all. I don't want what the money makes them have to do. So with money that you make, it's either passive or it's active. And if it's active, then that means it's self-driven. That means you have to do something every day for it. So if you want to be broke in the United States of America, you're going to have to choose. Do you want money or do you want time? It's money or time. It's not both. See, both is lifestyle. Both is success. Both is like what people dream of. What people dream of is to wake up every day and have money and time. It's like, I make a lot of money and I don't have to, I'm at the point where my income is system driven, not self-driven. And so I get to go do whatever I want to do. I get to go live my life doing what I want to do, going where I want to go, because no matter what I do and no matter where I go, I still have an income stream that comes in. Okay, so that's system-driven income. So what type of income do you want? Do you want the type of income that makes you choose between money and time, or do you want the type of income that gives you both money and time? So I think the height of frustration in our country is pretty much made up of people that they don't really, they don't know why they chose money or time, but they did. And now the frustration they have in life is because of the lack of money or time. I want you to think about it, okay? People that have self-driven income, okay? There are two groups of people. They're employees and they're self-employed. So they're employees. They're people that have a job. It's the lowest on the totem pole, okay? It's people that wake up every day and they typically don't have a dream of, and so they go, they find out, hey, give me a job. Give me a position in your company. I'll work for money. I'll work for a salary. I'll work for, it's called W-2. You pay me and then you own me for X number of hours a week. Okay, that's basically what a job is, okay? So you got employees and you've got self-employed. Now, there are employees, believe it or not, there are employees in the United States of America that make a lot of money. Okay, you know that. You can go downtown, wherever you live, and you can go to some high-rise buildings, and there are people that make a lot of money because they're high up in those corporate pyramids. They make a lot of money. But let me ask you a question. Why do the corporations pay them a lot of money? Why do they pay them a lot of money? They pay them a lot of money because they have to deal in conflict every day. And they pay them a lot of money because they own every waking hour they have. See, you want to go to your son's t-ball game, you want to go to your daughter's dance recital, you want to take your family on vacation. It's like, hey, if it works out, great. But if it doesn't work out, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to do what the job demands you to do, because your job security is this. Here's your job security. There's about 150 people within a 20-mile radius that are just as qualified to do what you do, and they might do it for less money. That's your job security, okay? And so people that have money, okay, people that work jobs and have money, or people that own their job, called self-employed people like doctors, lawyers, and dentists, okay, they make a lot of money. But what does their money require them to do? Okay, well, if you're a doctor, you're going to have to be at the doctor's office. You're going to have to be seeing patients, okay? If you're a dentist, you're going to have to be drilling, filling, and billing. If you're an attorney, you're going to have to be at the court. You're going to have to be in the office. See, you want to make a lot of money, then it basically runs and owns your life. Your life is going to be spent doing what it takes to make that money. Now, if you've got a family that enjoys that lifestyle, meaning the amount of money you make, you've got a big house, you've got nice cars, you go on nice vacations, you've got a country club membership. Yeah, you afford your family a good lifestyle. But it's a lifestyle that you'll never be able to participate in. Do you understand that? So tonight, I'm sorry that nobody's ever told you this stuff, but you've got to choose. Okay? Do you want money or time? Okay? There are jobs out there that you can take and you can have time. Because there are jobs out there that they're only going to demand about 40 hours a week. And guess what? When you get off work at 5 o'clock, you ain't got to think about it because it's just a job. When you get off on Friday, you ain't got to think about it because it's just a job, right? And you probably don't get paid a lot of money for it, but there's a reason for that. You don't have to deal with a lot of conflict. And you know what? It is what it is. But you've got all that time, and then what creates the frustration in your life? Because you always walk around thinking, well, if I made as much money as that doctor, oh boy, I'd be high on the hog. Well, if that doctor had your time, he'd be high on the hog. You see what I'm saying? So it's money and time. It's the combination of the two that creates lifestyle. So how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, according to Robert Kiyosaki and the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the sequel to that book, Cash Flow Quadrant, he talks about there are two quadrants that you can work in to create system-driven income. One quadrant is like franchising, where you can take viable themes and branch out and develop networks. Okay, Kroc did it with McDonald's. DeLuca did it with Subway sandwiches. Monahan did it with pizzas. People have done it with car dealerships. People have done it with hotel chains, okay? It's not that hard to understand. It's a viable theme. It's a systematic way of doing business that takes all the screw-ups out of it, because every time you screw up, it costs you money and time. And if you're going to be a successful business owner, you ain't got so much money and time. So if you want to own a McDonald's, your success in that McDonald's is pretty much guaranteed, because all you've got to do is follow the system. You don't make any decisions. All you do is read the manual. It's like I don't even have to be a cook, but if you give me a box of Betty Crocker brownie mix, my brownies are going to come out pretty good. You know, I can crack a couple eggs. I can mix it up. I can put some water in there. I can lick the bowl. I can put the oven on preheat to 425. I can do what it says. And if I do what it says and I take the brownies out when they say, man, they're going to be pretty good, aren't they? Okay, so that's like owning a business with a system versus owning a business non-system. Okay, so that's one way. It's called investing your time. That's what we do. The second way is that if you've been blessed to have a lot of money, there are places that you can invest your money and create a systematic return on that money. Okay, we even do some of that in the life insurance business. Okay, so from a results standpoint, I want to make sure you understand this tonight. Whatever you're doing, if you've tuned me out, okay, tune me back in for just a couple. Okay, I want you to if you have an insurance license and you're appointed with at least one carrier, like Mutual of Omaha. Mutual of Omaha is pretty easy to get appointed with. You ain't got to be perfect to get appointed with Mutual. Okay, so if you can get appointed with one company like Mutual, you now have the ability to decide that, you know what, I'm gonna invest 5 years of my life and I'm gonna go create money and time. Okay, and I'm gonna give you the recipe to do it. Okay, so in our business, if you're not careful, the only thing people will talk about is you selling. Okay, that's what they do. They create big old leaderboards and they put your name up there and they call you rock star and they flashing lights and smoke and mirrors and look how much John sold this week. Fantastic. See, when I restarted my career, I had to make $5,000 a week selling life insurance. See, I didn't really want to go sell life insurance, but I had to go make $5,000 a week. And so how was I going to do it? Well, I have my life insurance license. I ought to go sell life insurance. So what I did was I invested about $500 a week into leads, and investing $500 a week into leads gave me the number of appointments every week. See, the leads were a close ratio. The leads gave me, because I worked the leads. I worked them like crazy. I called them. I door knocked them. And those leads yielded every week the number of appointments that I needed in order to make $5,000 a week. Now, here's the phenomenon that happened, okay? I used to, before I was making $5,000 a week, I was trying to recruit people into my business because I wanted a big team. I wanted to tell people how awesome they were. I wanted to be able to coach people. I wanted to be able to build people. I wanted to be able to fill a coliseum full of people and tell them the good news about biblical success principles and all these things. But guess what? The more I recruited people, the more they didn't want to do it. Why wouldn't they want to be in bed? I'm a nice guy, aren't I nice? I mean, I'm pretty, Claudia likes me. I mean, that makes me, I got to be somewhat nice, right? Why wouldn't people want to get in business with me? You know why they don't want to get in business with me? Because I won't make no money. I was broke. So I was being what I hate. I hate recruiters. Recruiters are always trying to get people to do what they ain't doing. Recruiters stink to me. I hate a recruiter. A recruiter is that fake person that goes out there and talks about how great something is, but they ain't doing it. And so Barry Clarkson told me one time, he said, I asked him, we were in Dallas, Texas. There's a hotel called the Four Seasons. I think it's it's Four Seasons, Dallas, Texas. And I remember, I know Barry's story, and I know Barry was in the life insurance industry for a long time, and he was with a network marketing type life insurance company. Okay. And he had recruited a few people. He won't make no money, but he recruited a few people. And so the company, because Barry recruited a few people, the company put him up on stage and acted like he was a big deal. See, that's what we call smoke and mirrors, okay? Because he recruited people, none of them were selling any insurance, so he won't make no money, but they acted like he was a big deal. And Barry said, you know, John, he said, I did that for about 2 years. He said, and all of a sudden I started looking at my debt structure and I owed so much money. He said, and you know what? He said, John, he said, I looked in the mirror and I looked into my eyes and I said, you know what, Barry Clarkson, your mama didn't raise you to be like this. He said, so I resigned from that company that very day. He said, I resigned from that company. I told him I didn't want to speak anymore. I don't want to be on any more stages. I was a fraud. I was recruiting people, but I wasn't making money. I didn't want to do that. So he shut down that and he got him an insurance contract, just a direct insurance contract, okay? And he developed a friend in the business that showed him something called a mortgage protection lead. Showed him how to go down to the courthouse and copy down public data about people that got a mortgage. And then Barry hand wrote a note saying, I'm Barry Clarkson. I'm your mortgage protection specialist here in Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm going to set up an appointment to show you how to put protection in place that will protect your mortgage. And basically Barry started to go out and sell life insurance. Okay. Now, some of y'all are sitting there going, now, wait a minute, John, you were talking about making all, okay, I'm getting there. Okay. But what happened in Barry's business to make him go from struggle to being successful? Okay, this is a big lesson for some of y'all. Okay, it was a big lesson for me. Barry said, John, he said, I recruited people for years. And he said, yeah, I got some people that signed up and they made a big deal out of me. He said, but I was just being a fraud, man. I wasn't making no money. He said, but man, he said, when I started taking those leads and I started booking appointments, he said, I started sitting down with people and selling life insurance. He said, next thing you know, he said, back then, he said, we were making $500-$600 every time we wrote a life insurance policy. And he said, I was selling, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them a week. He said, John, he said, I got to where I was making more money. I knew what to do with. He said, Pam, we had a special needs child. Okay. Her name was Tiffany, and Pam worked down at I think it was the Kroger. She worked down at the grocery store. And Barry said it wasn't too long before we told her to come on home and just, be full-time mom and take care of Tiffany. And he said, but I started making money selling life insurance. He said, John, he said, I started feeling good about me. He said, and dadgummit, he said, wouldn't you know it? He said, my phone started ringing. He said, when you start making money, everybody around the world, people will talk about it. And he said, I had more people call me up on the phone asking me what I was doing to make money. He said, my business exploded. He said, my business literally exploded overnight. And the biggest organization that he ever recruited, the guy called him on the phone. He lived in Danville, Virginia, about an hour away from Lynchburg. And he said, Barry, I know you're doing something. Barry said, I ain't doing nothing. He said, I know you got something going on. He said, I heard you're making money. Barry said, I ain't making no money. Don't believe everything you hear. And finally, that old boy from Danville called Barry and said, Barry, man, I really need. And Barry said, all right, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. He said, and I'll show you how to do it one time. He said, but if you ever call me after that, I'm firing you. And the guy said, all right. Barry showed him how to sell one time. And the guy went on and built an incredible organization. But do y'all understand what I'm saying? What attracted the people was simply the fact that Barry started making money. And that's what we have. So do you want to change your life? Number one, it's going to be your discipline to wake up every day. I don't care if you're part-time or full-time. Let me just tell you something. If you're full-time, you still have the ability to make more money than any full-timer. Listen to me, you part-timers out there. Listen to me, okay? A part-timer focused on getting free will always go out and outproduce the full-timer that wakes up every day. They're full-time in the insurance business. They just wake up and, they got all the time in the world, and I'm going to go drink coffee, and I'm going to go down to the Starbucks, and I'm going to go check my mail, and I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to go. They ain't running. They're not 212 in their life. They're lukewarm. They're full-time and they're miserable. They're not being dream-driven. I'm going to tell you what drives the world, what makes the world go round are the dream-driven part-timers, baby. I'm going to tell you that. So if you've got a full-time job, you're in a great position. You're not in a bad position. You're actually in the best position, okay? Especially if you got a job that you hate. That's what I want for everybody. I want you to have a job that you hate. That will give you more motivation. I'll never have to talk to you about discipline ever again. Okay. So fact is that in the United States of America, there's one word and it's called results. And fact is there's only two types of income. There's temporary income that you get paid one time for and you don't ever get paid again. It's like going to work a job. You go to work for 40 hours, they're going to give you a paycheck. Guess what they owe you after that? Nothing. Nothing. I don't care how much life you've missed. I don't care how many T-ball games you've missed. Once they give you a paycheck, they square up with you. Okay, it's called getting paid one time. It's called having to go to work and do the same activities every week for the same income. Fact, there's a different type of income. Don't focus on the amount of income. I'd rather make $250,000 of passive income than I would $1 million of active income. Do y'all understand that? I'd rather make $250,000 of passive, ongoing, reoccurring income. I want y'all to remember this. A guy by the name of J. Paul Getty said this. He said, I'd much rather have 1% of 100 men's efforts versus 100% of my own efforts. Y'all understand that? Okay. So the life insurance business. We're backed by a company called Equus Financial that's backed by a company called Integrity Marketing Group. Let me tell you about those two groups of people, okay? They don't matter. The only thing that matters is what they provide for us. They provide compliant leads. They provide great carrier relationships. They're not perfect, okay? But they provide for us the things that we need to go enterprise every day. They provide all that we need: carrier relationship, leads, technology, training, everything that we need to go and make as much money as we want to make, okay? So don't get hung up on those companies. Don't get hung up on them at all. Do you have a life insurance license? Are you appointed with carriers? Do you know how to get on Integrity Lead Center and buy Ethos Lead? If you do, you got the ability to go out there and make millions. All that's got to do is you got to wake up every day and the clock's got to pass, because I believe some of you guys in the next I believe some of y'all, and it may be a 22 or 23 or year old out there that'll take these ethos, the compelling story of the ethos leads, and they'll go out there in the next 12 to 18 months and start making $21,000, $25,000, $30,000 every week. Every week. How much money do you make a year when you're cash flowing $21,000 a week? How much money do you make every year when you're cash flowing over $1 million a year? 21,000 a week is 84,000 a month. 84,000 a month is $1 million a year. So let me wind up tonight by talking about our industry, the life insurance industry. Okay. Leads are something that's created for people to invest in, so that you remember a while ago when I told you the story about I invested $500 a week into leads. That gave me enough appointments. Okay. Right now, today, even though mortgage protection leads have increased in cost, okay, because mailing has gone up, mortgage market's still lagging behind just a little bit, so there's not as much data out there. But people, you can go and invest about $2,000 to $3,000 a week, and you'll make $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a week if you do that. You can still go do that. But what scares most people off is they won't go invest $2,000 a week to make $6,000. As silly as that sounds, there's so many people out there, they're scared. They're full of fear. They're full of doubt because their mind has been conditioned to fail. Y'all understand that? Their mind has been conditioned to fail. Okay, that they will snatch failure out of the jaws of victory every time based on the way they think. Okay, so the reason I like Ethos Leads is because right now I believe somebody can invest about $500 a week into Ethos Leads and generate about 4,000 to 5,000 of revenue. So Ethos leads, they get, because they're lower cost. I'm just telling you, I'm almost to the point, because I've worked these leads the last couple of weeks. I'm almost to the point where I'll make a personal bet with anybody that wants to take it. You go and invest $500 a week for 4 weeks. That's 1 month. You go and invest $500 a week for 4 weeks. That's 1 month. That will be a total of $2,000 that you've invested. Isn't that right? Is my math right on that? Okay. I just barely got out of high school. I'm not kidding. So I'm not sure if my math's right, but last time I checked, I think that's pretty spot on. Okay. So about $2,000 a month, you will have invested into these Ethos leads. I don't care if you buy fresh Ethos leads at $18 a piece. I don't care if you buy inventory Ethos leads at $8. It doesn't matter to me. If you buy, I mean, I'm about seeing more people succeed on the $8 leads versus the $18. So it really doesn't matter. Just gives you more swings at the bat. You know what I'm saying? Gives you more chances to win there. Okay, gives you more swings at the plate. That's what it is, right? Baseball term, swings at the plate. Okay. So Ethos leads. Okay, let me give you. Okay, I'm about ready to make this bet. Go invest $500 a week and work the leads. Work the leads. I'm going to give you a phone script. Hey, my name's John Kite. You're not going to know me from Adam, but I'm giving you a courtesy call because you went on a website, a life insurance website by the name of Ethos. Okay, you did not complete your application. Something happened, and I'm just calling to see how I can help you. I work with a local brokerage, and we're better suited to help people find life insurance. How can we help you? Have you been able to find the type of life insurance you're looking for? Okay, that's not even the best phone, but if you would just simply go say something like that and just introduce yourself to people. I got your information because you went on an insurance website by the name of Ethos. Okay, whether you remember or not doesn't really matter. But I just want to know, have you been able to find the life insurance that you're looking for? Just introducing yourself and finding out how you can help people. If somebody would invest $2,000 over the course of a month, I'm willing to bet that for that $2,000 of lead investment, they will minimum over and above the $2,000 minimum, they will create somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000 in revenue. Okay, if you're really bad at building rapport, you'll probably at least make $10,000 in revenue. But if you're really good at building rapport with people, in other words, you're really good at building a relationship on the phone with people, I think that out of that $2,000 lead investment over a month, I'm betting you make over $15,000 in revenue. So for some of you guys, making $15,000 to $20,000 a month in your sideline life insurance business, it would change your life. It really would. Okay. And that's on your own pen. That's self-driven income. Selling life insurance is not passive income. That's active income. Selling life insurance is not the long-term goal. Selling life insurance is how to get to the long-term goal. You remember how I talked about Barry Clarkson a while ago? Okay. And this is the Ferrari part, John Kite 2. JK2, this is the Ferrari part. Instead of focusing on selling life insurance for the rest of your career, focus on building you. Read books, attend conferences, listen to all the success, surround yourself with people that are going somewhere in life, and build yourself into the type of person that other people want to be in business with. Build yourself into the type of person that when you go out to dinner, you just have people looking at you like, who's that? Man, they must be really successful. Who is that? I'd like to meet that person. It's fun. I'm just telling you, I was not that type of person in high school and college. I was not that type of person early in my career as a golf professional, okay? I had to develop that part, and you can develop that part. So what's the Ferrari part? The Ferrari part is that you can learn how to go sell life insurance, and you can cash flow as much as you need to cash flow to create. You can, if you have a life insurance license, you should be making more money than anybody in your neighborhood. You should be making more money than any doctor. You should be making more money than any attorney. You should be making more money than any professional that lives in your neighborhood. You understand that? That's a fact. If you have a life insurance license and you're appointed with Mutual of Omaha and you're not making more money than your doctor makes, it's because you're lazy. It's because you don't have a work ethic. Okay? And I'm sorry to have to say that, but if you're going to take your time to get on a call on a Tuesday night, what night is it? Is it Wednesday? If you're going to get on a call on a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, then I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna be transparent with you. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Go make you some money. As you're making money and you're building yourself, you're growing, you're changing the way you think. Okay. Write this down. If you change the way you think, you will change the way you live. Guaranteed. The only reason you live like you live now is because you think the way you do. And probably the people that taught you how to think that way, they live like you do too. Okay? So you've got to make a decision to associate. That's why we're going to a place called Phoenix, Arizona. Next Thursday and Friday, we're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. And guess what? We're going to be bringing in all of the top producers. You think it's hot outside in Phoenix, it ain't going to come close to how hot it is inside of the Marriott where we're going to be in Phoenix, because we're going to have all of the top producers that for a good day and a half, they're going to be there to train you, teach you. And so guess what? You get to go associate with those people. You get to learn how to think like they think. Learn how to think like they think, and you'll learn how to live like they live. Okay, so the Ferrari part is go sell life insurance and start making some money. Okay, start building you via daily disciplines. Read every day, speak every day, write down your goals, associate with people that are in life where you want to be. If you will do those two things, you will start attracting. Growing your business is an attraction factor. Okay. You start building in your mind. See, I do this sometimes and people think I'm crazy. People go, John, tell me how to build a big business. And I say, well, what I would do is I would get like this sheet of paper right here, and I would draw John and Kim. And I would start drawing out my width. Look at all these people I'm hiring. I'm hiring all these people right here. Look at all those people. Look at all those people I got right there. Well, I ain't got them all. I ain't got them all, do I? What's going to happen here? Here's what's going to happen. You see that guy right there? He's going to quit. That guy's going to quit. This guy right here, he got so excited, he started crying. He started telling you, you can't cut me out of this with a chainsaw. He's going to quit. And you're going to get out. And then out of all these people right here, you see this guy right here? He ain't going to quit, but he ain't going to do it. Okay, we're going to draw two eyes and a smiley face because he's going to sit there and look at you. This guy right here, smiley face. He ain't going to quit, but he ain't going to do it either. Look at you. But out of all those people, here's what I know. I'm going to find me a Claudia Matthew. I'm going to find me a Floyd Alvarado. I'm going to find me a John Kite too. I'm going to find me a Casey. I'm going to find me some people that'll go do it. And guess what? I'm going to drop down and I'm going to start helping them attract some people. And we're going to start building some depth. I'm going to help them start hiring some. We're going to start building some depth. And so, you know what I do? I sit around and start visualizing my organization. Because here's the thing, what I visualize in here always, what I visualize in the unseen happens in the seen. And people, when I go through that exercise right there, people go, oh, no, tell me how you recruit people. Tell me what you say. Y'all see, I'm telling you what, if I could be honest with it, how did I grow an organization? I wanted to real bad. I visualized it. I thought about it night and day. I ate it. I slept it. I breathed it. It was all I did for years and years and years. I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't play any golf. I woke up and I did business 24/7. I sowed the seeds in the unseen, and guess what? In God's time, it came out in the seen. It says in the Bible, you can't be deceived. And it says, don't be deceived because God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. So what I want you to get fanatical about in your life, if you really want to own a Ferrari, if you really want to know what this business is, if you really want to go and make it in life, decide to wake up every day and go sow the exact seed that you want down the road. And if you want to be a business owner, you've got to start thinking in terms of having multiple people in your organization. It can't just be you. Guys, somebody just selling life insurance, they got a life insurance job. Now it's a good job, and it's the type of job that they get to set their own schedule. But I'm telling you what, you can do so much more in this business. You can do so much more than just selling life insurance. There are people all around you that would love to learn the business from you. And so all I want you to do is I want you to start programming your subconscious mind that you are a successful distribution builder. Every day, in every way, you're getting better and better. Every day, in every way, you are getting better and better. You are overcoming to become. Everything in your past life was for a specific reason to help develop you where you are right now today for this opportunity. So be thankful for everything, the good and the bad. Be thankful for everything in your past. And decide that right now is your time. Right now, you've been sown, and right now is your harvest time. Right now is your coming out party. Great things are happening every single day. And if you can wake up every single day and you can say stuff like that, I'm going to tell you what, you could be unstoppable. So with that, listen, I done kept y'all on way too long. Claudia's going to fire me. I'm one and done on this 8 o'clock call. She said, take about 10 minutes. She said, John, I ain't never having you on this call ever again. You kept us on too long. So, hey, thank y'all so much for letting me talk to you a little bit tonight.
Hey, John, thank you so much for being on the call. I am just taking notes and I'm loving it. And listen, if you're not currently reading a book, go to Amazon and order the book by Og Mandino, The 12th Angel, because every day and everywhere we get better and better. And that's where John got that from. It's Og Mandino, The 12th Angel. I took so much notes, John. Results, discipline, and I will say something about discipline. We got to wake up in the morning and decide that we're going to be disciplined that day. It doesn't matter what is going to happen. It's a decision that we make it,
Yeah.
a decision that we make it. So thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. This was an awesome call. One of the best things that I learned from you that, when you say you're creative for a purpose, one of the best things that I learned from you from 17 years ago is that you told me us on that meeting that you told your children every day that they're creative for greatness.
Yes.
Each one of my children, if you ask them, what were you creative for greatness? What were you created for? They say greatness. And one other thing that you say is that every dream that God put in our heart, He also put everything in us to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because we were created for greatness. I hope that you guys heard that loud and clear because that alone changed my life. That was the beginning of a change. Thank you, John. This business opportunity had changed my life and the life of my children. It's a legacy beyond the financial part that I leave to them. It's a legacy of a mindset change, a mindset different that came here from Brazil, 18 years old, never went to college, and I was able to accomplish so many things because of right here, changing that mindset. I hope that you guys love this call and know this is not only one time that you're guests, you will be back. And if you had not made the decision to go to Phoenix, Arizona next week, I will be there. John Kai will be there, and so many others will be there. Call your leader if you want to be there. Let's talk. Maybe there's a couple people that can share a room. We've been there, right, John? I remember you telling me you sleeping in the bathroom tub when you
We had 11 people in the room.
So if you are in the fence and you want to come, just reach out to your leader, make it happen. Don't allow things to stop you. If you feel like you need to be there, you should be there. You should be there. We will be there. And I cannot wait to meet so many of you that are going to be there. Thank you for being on a call tonight, John. We will see you back soon again in here. And go out there, guys, and let's change your life. Let's change your mindset and tell you every day that you're created with a purpose by our creator. That's basically how I end and you were created for greatness. So let's just go there and accomplish that.
Amen to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Love y'all.